What is going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to another edition of On the Road to Victory. I am your host, Jimmy Smith, and I hope you're all having yourselves a great hump day. That's right, it is Wednesday. We're here a little bit after 8 o'clock, and we're talking some birds. So I appreciate each and every one of you tuning in, whether you're watching this live, watching this later. Love to hear your thoughts as OTAs began yesterday. Day off today, but they will be back tomorrow, and the media will be allowed there. So we'll get to hear from some of these coaches, players, get to see some of the sights and sounds. So excitement to be had. Football is in the air. We're still about 99 days away from NFL football, but do not fear. We will get through this, ladies and gentlemen. But the excitement is here. This team has added so many great pieces and going to continue talking about these things throughout the offseason here. But the position battles are very important. Now, we talked about this yesterday. You know, this is the first time they're getting to see full team activities. It'd be 7-on-7s, a lot of things that they weren't able to do in the first couple of phases. So not much going into the OTAs here, but you get a chance to meet each other, get to see your new shiny toys here. So all excitement to be had, but not much answers going to be had here. Now, we're still going to be keeping our eye on where they have guys, who's with the first team, and everybody's going, read what you can with that. Take it with a grain of salt, as we say. When you're looking at these things, they're going to give a lot of people opportunities to do things with the first team. And, if you see guys doing that, don't, just assume they're the starter. We'll talk about it throughout the offseason, but we're going to be looking for answers, and we're going to get some of those throughout these next few weeks. And, we talked about the key dates here, and I'll show you again. Keeping you up to date with when actual, things are happening here. We've got these, 5 days left, and we'll see what we do with them. Last year, the last day they kind of took like a field trip. So we'll see what they do here. But again, it's OTAs. But then training camp is at some point at the last week of July, no specific date yet. But then you see the preseason beginning of August there, almost the middle. You've got 3 games there. And I think the one game, the date might have changed there. So, regardless of that, though, the roster cut downs then August 29th. So one cut down, get to see a lot more from some of these, guys that aren't going to make the team, but it'll help make these decisions a little bit easier. So you see those important dates. We'll talk about those. And, last couple of days, we've been talking about, what these battles are, what the positions look like. So if you want an in-depth breakdown on all of the positions, we did that the other day. And, right here, I just want to give you the top battles. So we talked about these. We're going to continue talking about them, but I want to tell you why. And I know a lot of you were commenting the last couple of days that you had missed the live show. So wanted to be in here. Let's rock and roll. We got a question mark from my man, Drew. Plenty of questions to be had, my man. So let's rock and roll. But I appreciate you tuning in. Let's go, my dude Anthony in here. Let's rock and roll, my man. Nina, it has been too long. I hope all has been well. Appreciate you taking the time tonight. Hope you and the family had a great holiday, a safe holiday. And I hope all of you out there are doing well. Appreciate you taking the time. Really nice to see you in the chat. I'm a big fan and cannot wait for those dance videos. That's, 99 days away, but it doesn't mean you can't still put out the excitement here, even if it's OTAs, training camp. We're sickos around here. It's sicko season, and we are talking birds 24/7. That's how it goes in these parts. But I appreciate all of you. Big Daddy in here. We've got Twisted, my man Justin in here. Let's effing go. But I appreciate you, man, and going to keep pumping out this content throughout this all season. Cannot thank you enough. Appreciate you all. My dude, William in here. Let's go. Yo, hope you are well. Hope you and the family are doing well. Cannot thank you all enough for tuning in here. And feel free to chime in. Let me know how you feel. But I just put this list together here quickly. And we're going to do a lot of stuff like this through the offseason. I'll do my best to put together shows and, go in depth with some stuff here. But we're going to look here, and I've already gone in depth here with OTAs, and we'll do breakdowns and things like that. But right here, just going to show you my list. And this is comprised of the things we talked about the other day when going through the entire roster. We talked about offense, defense, special teams, but figure I could put them all in order here. And look, for me, the most important here is going to be right guard. Now, I think whoever wins, I think we feel comfortable. So I almost wanted to put it down lower, but I didn't want to put punter at number one, but it kind of is one of the more important positions here. But I think this is going to be very, very important. Now, we're all just assuming because, Jeff Stoutland is the effing man that, these guys are going to shine. And for me, I think Tyler Steen will win the job there, but only time will tell. Now, Cam Jurgens, I love the kid. I think he's going to be the next great center for us, but I think they like the size and the promise of Steen at right guard. So if you could get him started there sooner rather than later, let's effing go. And then Cam Jurgens takes over for Kelsey next year. I'm with it. But whatever happens there, I think that's very important, Now, either way, they have Kelsey and Lane on either side of them. So I feel comfortable. But it's, to me, going to be the top battle for me to watch. So maybe not necessarily the most important, but it is going to be the most fun because I think that they both have a great shot at winning that job. So going to be a fun one. Now at number 2, punter. Almost had it number 1 because, oh my God, we talked about it. Look, yeah, we don't even want to be punting. We just want our offense to be steamrolling over everyone. But unfortunately, there are times you have to punt. Now, we saw in that last game, I'll just refer to it as that Aaron Sipos came back from injury and, well, sucked ass, shanked a punt, led to a return to the 1-yard line. Well, the rest is history. So we talked about, please, for the love of God, bring in some competition. The Eagles do that in Legatron here, Ty Zentner. So I'm all about that competition. Let's effing go. And we're sticking with the specialists here, but this time we're talking return. At number 3, you see I've got last year it was Covey and Scott, and I like Covey as a punt returner. I think if we block a little bit better, I think if our unit as a whole is better, he does all right. But as a kick returner, he does not do that. So Boston Scott was there. Now, Greg Ward, he doesn't kick return, but he punt returns. Cleveland can kick return. Rambo can, and so can Nada. So you do have some young men here that are going to push for a job. So maybe like Covey last year getting a job just because of his return capability, one of these guys could get a job with Covey or maybe push him out. So you see, I listed the guys with experience. The breakdown the other day, I had some guys with starting, experience there. Maybe not necessarily the starter, but guys like Kenny Gainwell, Rashad Penny. You have Devontae Smith, certain situational guys. So there are definitely other options, but I think watching these guys battle it out and maybe Covey loses his job, maybe Scott loses his job, maybe one of these other guys pushes for a spot because they bring that return capability. But I think it's very important for the Philadelphia Eagles. And, we talked about this the other day, but I just want to stress the importance that that's how good, this team is, but you want to be great in all 3 phases. And I think that, both punter and return specialists, it's going to be great to keep our eye there because I think, we need an upgrade and we could already have it here. And if we don't, that's what this period is about. And I think that the Eagles are very well aware of that. We've still got months here to add to this roster. So if we need to, we will do that. So I think that, the specialists are very important here. But, right guard to me is going to be the most fun to watch. So very excited about that. And then, another starting position here at safety. At number 4, you've got, Sidney Brown, Reed Blankenship, and Terrell Edmonds. Now, I've talked about this. I'm looking forward to it, but whoever wins, I think for me, dude, I don't really care because I think they're all going to get their snaps, and I think it's going to be a good unit. Now, again, if you want to add to this unit, I'm not against it, but I think that, safety, I feel a little bit better than I think most. Now, there's a lot of question marks, so we need to see it, but I'm confident. Let's just say that. So at number 5, you can see wide receiver 3. That's still kind of a starting position. And, you see Quez, you see Alameda there. I like the fact that you bring in competition here. You're going to push Quez Watkins. And I think for me, obviously a lot of talk about DeAndre Hopkins, but I like the back end guys. I like what we're working with here. And the other day, I talked about those back end wide receivers. We've got a lot of competition going on at wide receiver. So for me, I like what we have here. And I think Alameda and Quez, if they both are doing well, then we're in good hands here because, you had Pascal and Quez last year. And Quez, of course, at the wrong times was dropping the ball. But if he can get back to what he was doing the year before, I would be pretty happy about it. So I think we've got talent here, man. And it's good to be talking about, depth pieces that we need to add to. So that's how good this team is. And I'm still very confident in this team. I think it's Super Bowl caliber winning team right now. But if you want to add and ensure that, let's effing go. And we talked about those positions, linebacker, safety, things like that. So go check those videos out from the last couple days with like a different type of twist. Here we're talking about the top battles. You'll see if you go watch them. But if Zentner can, you got to bring in somebody to beat him out. I've talked about veteran, maybe a veteran guy with more experience than, these other two. Whatever you want to do, you got to bring in something here. So please, for the love of God, Zentner, live up to that name, Legatron. My man, AK in the building. Appreciate you tuning in, dude. Hope you are doing well. Nice to see you, dude. But we went through top 5. Now we've got a bottom 6 here. Let's keep this train rolling. Whatever thoughts you guys have, feel free to throw them on down there. But you see at number 6 here, we've got the linebackers. And, Morrow and Dean, to me, I think they fit what Sean Desai is going to try to do here. And I think, when you're looking at the back end, though, it's a little bit questionable. And I understand wanting to add to this room. I talked about it the other day. My number 1 position that I would add to would probably be linebacker. So if you want to add Patrick Queen, Devin White, I'm all about it. But you see Bradley, Ellis, Taylor, Van Sumeren are the guys that will be battling it out for that 3rd and 4th spot there. And, I think for me, I like Sean Bradley, got to stay healthy. Christian Ellis. So we've got talent there. Taylor has not lived up to his draft, pick. Van Sumeren, an intriguing undrafted kid. So talent here, but big question mark there. Going to be fun to watch that one. And at number 7, tight end 2/3, because Stoll, essentially taking on that H-back role. Calcaterra, the F-type receiving type tight end. Now you bring in Dan Arnold, and he's going to push Calcaterra. And, Stoll pretty much takes that job as the blocking type guy. I think if he continues to improve, Stoll will have a job here. But adding someone like Arnold tells me they do feel confident in Stoll, because that is not the type of tight end he is. So Calcaterra, Arnold will be battling it out for that 3rd spot, I believe. But going to be fun to watch all 3 of them. Maybe, Calcaterra is just so good, he got better at blocking and he pushes out Stoll. Only time will tell, ladies and gentlemen, but looking forward to watching that one. Now, number 8, we've got, we talked about the safeties, those top 3 guys. Well, who and how many are we keeping here? You've got 4 and 5 I've listed, but you've got Justin Evans, Kayvon Wallace, and Tristan McCullum. And, we might as well just talk about the cornerbacks down below, 5 and 6 there. You see Greedy Williams, Zach McPherson, but you've got guys like Josiah Scott, Josh Jobe, maybe a Mekhi Garner who can play some safety. So that versatility kind of, bleeds into, just the secondary as a whole, talking about how many pieces you're going to keep. So I like Justin Evans. I like Kayvon Wallace. Tristan McCullum, he's a versatile defensive back. So maybe he could, push out. I think Kayvon did great at the end of the year. I think Justin Evans has starting capability, and if he's healthy, I like Justin Evans. So got some talent there. I know some questions, a lot of question marks at safety, but I think a lot of talent. So that's a good thing. It's not just lack of talent. It's just a big question mark as to who wants to get the most reps. And, when talking about corner, I love the fact that we're talking about 5 and 6. And the reason I did that, if you remember the other day, I talked about it. I think out of all the guys, that are here and are depth pieces, we know the top 3 are obviously staying on the team, Slade, Bradbury, Maddox. But to me, Kaylee Ringo is definitely making the team. He didn't trade up in the draft for nothing. He's definitely making the team. So I just have him as cornerback 4 right now, just so you understand why it's like that. But you see Greedy Williams, I think he could definitely be cornerback 5. But you drafted McPherson a couple years ago. You traded for Josiah Scott, Josh Jobe, and Mario Goodrich, some undrafted kids. And then this year's undrafted pool, Ricks and Garner. So you've got talent here, man. And it's going to be fun to watch the competition there. So whoever wants to go get that job, go and get it, baby. So I think Greedy Williams, great pickup. But there's definitely some good depth behind him. So going to be fun to watch those matchups there. Then a defensive tackle, 5 and 6. You see at number 10 here, you've got Tupelotu, Street, Ojomo, and Ellis. I love the fact that, oh my God, man, you've got Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, Fletcher Cox was brought back, and Milton Williams, man. The top 4, oh my God. But behind them, Tupelotu, Street, Ojomo, even Noah Ellis being, having a chance. Last year he got hurt. I think it's a great competition there. Very excited about the defensive tackle position. Who wants to be that back end depth there? But then edge rusher. You talk about the top 5 guys. We've got Reddick, Sweat. Talk about Brandon Graham. Of course, we drafted Nolan Smith. Holy hell. And then Derek Barnett is back from injury, and he's edge rusher number 5. So you look at the guys behind that, Patrick and Kyron Johnson. You traded for Janarius Robinson, Teron Jackson, and Matt Leo here. So lots of competition this offseason, man. And I think that it's great that we have such depth here that, some of these guys, you really like them or you wanted us to draft them or this, that, the other thing. But some of these guys are definitely going to be gone. But of course, there is the practice squad. So you're hopeful that they clear waivers and that they are able to go on to the practice squad. So we shall see what happens. But very excited about all of the battles that will be going down here in camp. And Davian Taylor, definitely, he was on practice squad last year, so he didn't even get a chance last year. So, if he wants to do anything, he better do it now because he'll definitely get cut. And if he clears waivers, maybe he gets put on the practice squad, but Van Sumeren will give him a run for his money. So we'll see. But, I'm getting excited. I don't know if you guys saw the interview that Nolan Smith did with Chris Long, and they had Howie on. And I talked about that a little bit yesterday. But, dude, I think that this team, just so much excitement. I love Nolan Smith. I saw my man Philly Mike posted. He was talking to Dave Spadaro, and apparently Jalen Carter busted one of the sleds. So I'm all about it, man. These rookies, everybody's got to be ready to run through an effing wall. So I'm ready to rock and roll, man. This offseason is going to be a fun one. Yo, I appreciate that, my man. Always trying to put out the best content I possibly can. So I truly, truly appreciate that. Yo, my man, appreciate you tuning in. I do not know. You had a question mark at the beginning of the show, and I didn't know what happened there to you. But appreciate you tuning in, dude. I just was going through my top battles here. And, we talked about my positions of strength the other day, and I can actually just show you that because I think that, for me, this is a very strong roster when you're talking about where I have these guys ranked. And the other day I tried to, explain this, that, man, this is the group as a whole, but you're talking about linebackers were last, and then specialists, safeties, tight ends, and the specialists were the punter and the return specialist as a, both that we just talked about there. But man, this was fun to talk about because just looking at the depth of this team, it's like, oh my God, dude, this team, I'm telling you, we're winning the Super Bowl this year. We are making a run for it. Yeah, we got to stay healthy. Yeah, we got to just, no stupid mistakes, this, that, the other thing, all that. Yep. But I think that we are built to go right back and whoop some ass and go get our trophy. So, let's get excited, ladies and gentlemen. But look, tomorrow we have OTAs, so I will be back talking about whatever we get to see here, whatever. I'll bring whatever pictures, videos I can with me. So we'll break all that stuff down. Then it'll be Fan Friday on Friday, and I'll break down anything else that happens on Friday. So we'll continue getting through this damn off season together, ladies and gentlemen. But if you have any questions, comments, you're watching this later, feel free to leave it down below. You're watching right now. You wanted to ask something else, but I'm rolling. Well, just leave it down below. And when I see it, I will happily talk some birds with you. But you got to make sure it's not during like the music because then I'll miss you. But look, I appreciate each and every one of you taking the time. Appreciate you hitting that like button, subscribing to the channel, all that stuff you're doing to support me. I cannot thank you enough. Hope you're having a great week. Hope you're ready for that weekend. It's almost here. We're at the halfway point, baby. Let's effing go. But we've got some OTAs tomorrow. So until then, I am Jimmy Smith, and this is On the Road to Victory. Hope you all have yourselves a great rest of your night. And as always, say it with me now. Go Birds!